Hey guys, how's it going? It's Philip with Trade Genius. Before we get started on today's video, which we are going to cover Ethereum BTC, and I'm going to explain this chart and how it really marks overbought and oversold areas for Ethereum and the alts. When we do get to those areas on Ethereum and the alts, and you're not sure how to trade them, we have a lot of training here, and you can just pick which one best fits your situation, and a lot of courses that cover entries and money management. Or if you want to be in the room with us, we can help you out there too. Or if you don't have time, you can just get our express signal service that basically will just send you a signal. And we're also going to come out with one that's called Express Prime, and that's going to be more for our newer guys that don't need a lot of signals. They just want to maybe focus on the majors like Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin. So it'll be less signals, more manageable for someone who might be new to trading or just doesn't have a lot of time for it. Okay, so that being said, let's dig into this chart.
Trade Genius.
All right, so what we have here, guys, is I'm just going to explain real quick how we set this chart up. It's a daily chart on Ethereum BTC. I use Bittrex feed because the Coinbase feed and the GDAX feed is a little, there's a major spike in it, and it kind of screws up the chart. So what you do is you dial this up, and you're going to make it a log scale. And so draw these trend lines. What this is going to be a roadmap basically of what's basically being contained in this uptrending price channel. It's encompassed the basically the tops and the bottoms of this current up channel. So wanted to kind of go over the dates. So Ethereum made big progress early 2016 and kind of just petered out, right? Beginning of 2017, and this goes for much of the alt market, we started to see a big surge up, and you can see the volume versus the prior year, okay, going up. And also too, you're seeing this lull from these up move waves, and then a lull, and then another series of moves. So what I expect to see is these gaps in here are going to get smaller and smaller as we progress, and ultimately we will have a major bubble in this whole market. We're just not anywhere near there just yet. So what we had here was the beginning of 2017. Basically the whole alt market really took advantage of a big bull run up into, where do we see that at? June, right? So remember, June last year, 2017, top of most of the alt markets, and then everything really bottomed out at where? December of 2017, and then we had another big move up again in everything related to altcoins, basically. So Ethereum's been a nice proxy for kind of the entire alt market if you look at it from this perspective. This mid channel we've drawn there because price does react to it. So this actually topped off the move on this last bull run from the bottom of December, basically peaked out there toward the end of January, right? And then we've just been in the doldrums since then. Little bounce here, but there's not a lot to draw off of this area here. So really your major spots are going to be on this trend line here. So if price can get down in here, this is where you're going to be looking to get long. Okay, and that's around, if it were to coincide with this chart, let's just say this downtrend continues to kind of go sideways to down. And this is the ETH BTC ratio, right? So all the whole market could go up dollar-wise, but the ETH BTC ratio would show a bottom. That's at 0.0604 area, let's say. That could be one spot. Just depends how soon it retraces and meets this lower trend line. And so that would be a spot to look to get long. Otherwise, then you'd be looking to maybe take some off the table when we get to this area here, right? So if price runs down here, let's say, and then works its way back up, you might possibly, and this is just kind of looking at time and trajectory, you could be at the 0.24 plus area at some point. But it's good to have this chart as kind of a roadmap. So that's your trade tip for Ethereum as a alt proxy like indicator for overbought, oversold. So again, overbought in this area here, and then You might look at taking some off the table when it gets a bounce into this area here, right? And then what happens there is if it breaks out, you get a pullback similar to what you saw here. See a nice thrust out of this move here, and then it consolidated on it and moved up again. Ultimately, that became support and went higher. All right, so you look to play it the same way, and then really overbought, blow off top kind of stuff up here at 0.7. Now at 0.7, you're getting, you're starting to close in on 1-to-1 Bitcoin ratio. So just keep this in mind, guys. These levels, when you're looking, this is kind of a nice to have when a step back and look at the macro market. But currently, this is the trajectory that we're on, and so makes sense to play these levels as you see price collide with them, as you've seen how price reacts to them in the past. So price reacts to levels in the past, likelihood you're going to see some sort of reaction in the future. Whether it's a major bottom or top remains to be seen, but you should get some sort of favorable bounce off those levels. So just thought I would share that with you guys, just a tip. It's always good to have a nice macro picture of where in the playground are we playing with in price for some really high probability entries. So again, once we get to those levels, if you're not sure how to enter those, if you're new, again, check out those training products that we have designed specifically for helping you get into these things and money management. All right, guys, appreciate it. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit like and subscribe, and I will see you on tomorrow's video. Take care.
Trade Genius.